Hello again, everyone. It's Vince, and this is our update for March 10th, 2026. Let's take a quick look at what ended up being a pretty uneventful day for equities anyway. The Dow up just 10 points here, the S&P down about 5 points. The Nasdaq up 24 and the Russell down about 3 points. So pretty quiet. I mean, there was some volatility back and forth throughout the day, but not a whole lot for equities anyway. There certainly was for crude oil. A lot of volatility. We saw a swing from a low of 76.73 to a high of 91.48. So quite the swing. We're right now at 86.93, a far cry from that 119.48 high yesterday. And gold gaining 98 points today, while silver bouncing back and gaining 420 here. Bond yields also bouncing today. The dollar was slightly higher, and the VIX in at 24.92. And I believe crypto markets were also higher. Yes, Bitcoin up 1,800 here, and Ethereum up 50. So overall, not a bad day. Just, pretty quiet for equities for the most part. If we look at economic data points, we did have the ADP employment change, not a big enough change to do anything there. Existing home sales came in slightly better. The month-over-month number did come in much better than last month here, and ahead of forecast, but again, not having a huge impact on the market. What May is the CPI for tomorrow? That'll be interesting. And then we get building permits, housing starts, and initial jobless claims on Thursday, followed by GDP and PCE on Friday. So those will be a little more closely watched. On the earnings front, this morning before market open, we had NEO, and just a little while ago, after market close, we had Oracle. Let's start there. If you look at NEO, had a nice bounce after earnings here. So they beat on both top and bottom, and it had a real nice day, up over 15%, closing just about at the high of the day here. And so far after market hours, it's pretty flat. Now, when we look at NEO on a weekly, starting to look better, still within this lengthy consolidation, but starting to come to life. And here on the monthly, we don't see a whole lot just yet. What I'd really like to see it do is get above 8. Above 8, I think we could gain some traction here. So we'll have to just put this on a watch list and wait. Now, Oracle reported after market close. During market hours, it was down 2 points. After market close, so far in after hours trading, it's up almost 11 points, or up 7% here. Now, regardless of that, when you look at the weekly and the monthly, I don't think we're anywhere near a spot where we'd like to go long here. So, depending on what it does tomorrow, we may even want to consider a short here. But right now, it looks like it's going to gap higher. So for now, we'll just sit and wait. Other charts to look at, there were some nice ones here today. Going to start with the longs. Iamgold, IAG, continues to trend really nicely here. And we've got another long plus setup. Now, yes, we finished in the bottom half of the bar. Today's high being 22.72. If it trips that, that'll look really good here. Remember, for Victory, it's not absolutely necessary, but if you didn't pick it up just before the close, then it's something to consider. Now, you look at the weekly, we've got a long plus going here as well, so far near the high of the week. I know it's only been a couple of days, but it's there, and we are also near the all-time high here. So it's looking really good. Earnings are 58 days away. Nice, clean, orderly, strong trend intact here. This chart looks great to me. The other one to the long side is SVM, which is SilverCorp Metals. We've got another long plus setup here. On the weekly, we've got a long plus, and on the monthly, we are not near highs, but we certainly have a clear path to those highs. On the earnings front, we are 72 days away from the next announcement, so plenty of time there. So those are my two favorite on the long side. Got another one on the long side here, DAC. It looks pretty good. Now, if you recall, we drew this pattern in, and on the monthly, here it is. So I think this is just getting started. I mean, I really like this as well. Um, if you look at the monthly, for me, if it topples the high from this month, 118.83, I really think that's a green light there, and with lots of potential room. So this is one to follow closely. It is in the transportation sector, which is pretty hot right now. Earnings are 69 days away. I think this one is just getting started here. So really like this one as well. Now on the short side, we've got CSGP, CoStar Group. There it is. Setting up a nice short plus here. It's been dropping for a while. If we look at the weekly, we kind of hung out along this key area for a while, tried to recover, failed to make a new high, and then completely rolled over. Once we broke the series of lows here, we accelerated lower. And what's interesting is if you look at the monthly, there's very little support here until we get much lower. It could be cut in half from here and still have room to go. So CSGP looks good to me. The other one is ZTS, which is Zoetis. There it is. Nice short, breaking through that key level. Here's the weekly and the monthly with lots of room to go here as well. So, and both of these, I believe, earnings are far away. This one's 51 days. The other one that also looks good to the short side is Workday, WDAY. We had a lengthy consolidation, then a nice push lower, an attempt to recover, and now it looks like we're rolling over again. And that's the weekly. Here's the monthly. And, at first glance, it looks like, well, there isn't a whole lot of room until we get down to where there's some, more significant support. But if we look at the price point, we're at 142.49. This key level is in the mid 80s. So there's plenty of room for this to go. So that one's also a good one. So yeah, there's a few ideas. Remember, these are just ideas, not recommendations, but there are definitely a few that I'm watching right now. And let's not forget DAC, even though it isn't my favorite today, on that monthly chart. That recent high of 118.83 is what I will be watching here. I'm going to mark it up here just so we have it. And the next time we look at this chart, we'll remember what we were looking for here. There it is. So that's about it for now. Just a reminder, we are having a live market chat again tomorrow. That is Wednesday, March 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern. So come on and join us if you can. But until then, I hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you on our next update. Take care.